Hello YouTube, it is Championdjk coming at you again with another weekly episode. This is episode 201, and I got some really cool stuff to show you, per usual. So let's jump right into it. This should actually be a shorter than normal video. So we're going to go for under 30 minutes. We'll see what happens. All right, so first off, I got some mail from, I think it's Zach _Diecast _Manser or Zach _Manser _Diecast. Anyway, check out my Instagram. I posted this to Instagram. A buddy of mine sent this to me as an RAOK, as you can read the note right here. So very, very awesome, bud. Thank you for this. It's another Ultra Red off the list. And then shortly after I got that, here's another one. This was from a local friend, Song, who found this and then just gave me a really good buddy price on this. And I just, even though I have it, I had to just grab another one. I'm like, you know what? I'll just grab another one. So I have two now. I don't know what I'm going to do. If I'm going to eventually trade one, maybe, to get a different red that I'll be missing from this series. I don't know for sure, but I bought one. I got one as an RAOK. We're going to open one in this episode. We're going to open this one right here, the one I got from Zach. And so along with the two regular released vehicles from that series from 2020 release 1. So we'll go ahead and we'll open up both of those, or all three of those cars in the second segment, so stay tuned for that. All right. Then the only other things that I have to show you is I got a box from Diecast this week. Diecast, if you're not familiar with, is another YouTuber, and he's also on Instagram. He does videos mainly on Greenlight vehicles on Instagram. Greenlight and Tomica Limited Vintage are like his two major things. And then and he's not from the US, he's from Romania, and I hub for him, meaning he gets stuff shipped to my house, I consolidate the shipments, and then I go ahead and mail him stuff. And then as payment, I guess, for that duty, he sends me boxes of goodies. And they're ridiculous. So I don't know, I should put Diecast vids almost in a playlist of the boxes that he sent me. They're just insane. And this one is nothing short of that. So I did already open it, so you don't get my raw emotion on camera today, unfortunately, because I did open it yesterday. I could not wait. I just couldn't wait. I had to look right away. He also sent me a couple things for Andrew Yaremko. So this is your stuff, bud, if you're watching. I will forward this on to you. You'll have to wait to find out what it is. But looks like there's a couple of items in there, in that bubble wrap. All right, so start from the most basic thing. He sent me back this Krispy Kreme Donuts 1939 Chevy panel truck. I'm not sure why I sent it. Probably because he's got a duplicate of it. I just decided to forward one back to me. Maybe just to fill the box out. But I do have this casting. I don't have the Krispy Kreme version, but it does look pretty nice. And so I'll throw that in with my Greenlight collection. So thank you very much for that. That'll probably end up getting opened in a 10-car Tuesday some future time. And then he sent me another Greenlight piece, but this one is quite awesome. And this is a Wisconsin State Trooper, Wisconsin State Patrol Fox Body Mustang. This is kind of a tough one to get. This does not come cheap. I don't remember which series it's actually from. But we'll take a close look at this. Another cop car Mustang. Just like we got the California State Patrol there with that Ultra Red in the second segment of the video. Just a really, really cool to get this. It's Wisconsin State. I'm coming at you from Wisconsin, so pretty awesome. Funny thing about this car is, I believe, this was a duplicate, and he had two, and I think this car's already been in my house. I think this is one of the ones he ordered, and then he ordered another one, or found a good price on another one, and then, so I think I shipped both of these to him eventually. Now this one made its way all the way back, halfway around the world to me. So, pretty cool. All right, then he sent me a Majorette This is a Majorette Mercedes-Benz SLS. So this is pretty cool. It's got opening gullwing doors. We'll take a look at that in the second segment. It's actually a quite nice little vehicle. The only thing, of course, that suffers here is the wheels don't look too great, but we'll talk more about that in the second segment. And then he sent me this Kyosho 458 Italia Ferrari. It's black. It's got some paint rashing going on in it. And maybe I could polish it up, maybe clean it up a little bit. It'll look a little better. But anyway, it was free. You know, it's a gift, and I really do appreciate it. But awesome. So let's get into the real good stuff now. So those were cool, but the really cool stuff, of course, is when he starts going overboard and sending me a bunch of Tomica limited vintage. And he sent me a few. So first of all, LV180A, the Isuzu Elf vacuum car. So that's an interesting one right there. And of course, we're going to look at all of these in detail in the second segment, so we don't spend too much time on them right here, but pretty neat. I only have one other like utility or truck vehicle or whatever from Tomica Limited Vintage, and they're kind of cool. They're different, and that makes them kind of awesome. This one's pretty cool. This is a Subaru Legacy. LVN06A Subaru Legacy. Cool. And then a LVN21A Mazda Luce Legato. Pretty cool. And then a Toyopet Crown LV181B. The box art on these things never does them justice. I mean, the box art looks okay, but when you start pulling out the cars, they're just like, they're little gems. This one is really interesting. This is the Prince Gloria BL SIP3 LV74A. This one's really neat. I actually pulled this out of the box. It looks like a 57 Chevy, kind of. So we'll get into that. It's pretty cool. And then this one here is the Nissan Skyline 1800 Deluxe. This is LV49B. Very cool. And then, of course, the main event. And this is the third time that he's done this to me. Where he sent me a car, basically, that I would never be able to really justify affording. Because they are expensive. He sent me this. The 365 GT4 BB Tomica Limited Vintage Ferrari in yellow. What's special about the Tomica Limited Vintage Ferraris in yellow? They're like Tomy Mall exclusives. So they are a lot more expensive typically, and I believe they're a lot more limited run, these yellow versions of the car. You can't even, I think Japan Booster may list a couple when they come out. You can't pre-order them though. As far as I know, you can't pre-order them. At least I've not found a source for that yet. But the yellow ones are special, and this is the third yellow one I've got in my collection now. I've got the F40, the 512 TR, and this one. Mind-blowing. So this one's extra special. He's sent me now, I mean, including those two, the yellow Ferraris, this yellow Ferrari, and then he's also sent me the black and white Dinos. So, I mean, he's sent me five Tomica Limited Vintage Ferraris, which is just insane. So this is just like, this is worth the box by itself. Because it is so amazing to get this, because there's just no way I would get it otherwise. So I really appreciate it. Diecast. Again, go check him out on Instagram and, of course, YouTube. He's got an amazing collection. I don't know if he's trying to go for like every single green light ever put out because it seems that way. So, you know, and I ship him a lot of green light cars. I've also got a case unboxing coming up for the newest. I think it's a Hollywood Special Edition Starsky and Hutch assortment. So I'll probably do a case unboxing. I've got a sealed case sitting right behind this camera here. And we'll probably do an unboxing video of that too. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, pretty cool. So let's go ahead and flip the camera around. Let's take a look at these sweet, sweet, sweet cars. All right, so let's start by getting into this Auto World first. So here we go, Ultra Red, the two regulars. So let's go ahead and open up version A first. So there's your premium facts, in case you want to know. This is limited to 5,500 pieces. And here is that Mustang. Now, this is the second time it's been released as a California Highway Patrol, but the first one did not have a light bar. This one, of course, gets the light bar treatment. You know what, and I didn't pull the other one out, so I apologize. I think the other one also had a total black top, too. It wasn't white on the top like this one is. But anyway, we don't need to get into that. Let's just take a look at these cars real quick before we get into that nice Tomica Limited vintage lineup. So pretty cool, basic Mustang casting. We've seen it quite a bit from Auto World. Looks great though. Looks really good with the light bar, and of course these have opening hoods, detailed engine. That one's giving me a little bit of resistance, so I'm just going to lay off. But we had it in version A like that, and then version B, the 2017 Ford Mustang GT in Oxford White. There's a peek at some of your premium facts, limited edition, one of 5,500. And here it is in white. Looking pretty slick. This one, the hood goes right open. You can see the detailed motor there. Nice version of the car. Like it quite a bit. Very, very nice. Okay, so there is your two regular issues there, civilian and police, or highway patrol rather. And then, of course, we get the Ultra Red. So this is cool. So the Ultra Reds in this series go after the version A cars, meaning they have the traits of the version A cars, which is why you see a light bar, highway patrol, and all that stuff on this car. And this is on the version A card, but of course the car I showed you in the previous bit, which I already, it's far away from me now, but on the version B card was, of course, the same exact car. So if you did not know already, which you should have, if you collect Auto World, you should know that the chase cars are the same for each release, no matter whether you find them on a version A or a version B card. It does not matter. And then they are limited to 3% of the production line, which makes this car limited to what? Basically 11,000. Well, 3% of 11,000, because there's 5,500 of each one. So multiply that by 2. It's 11,000. And 3% of that. So what is that? Like 300 and something. So I can't do math in my head. 330? Is it 330? I think it is. Anyway, somebody get out a calculator and correct me. I don't care. These ones have Ultra Red base, Ultra Red body, white interior. And I think all the Ultra Reds in this release are going to follow that format, where they are going to have a Ultra Red base, an Ultra Red body, and a white interior. The light bar on the top of this one's a little bit crooked. That's okay though. And of course the hood opens, and the motor's regular. I'm checking I gotta check Ultra Reds now for white motors or engines, because I didn't know that was ever going to be a trait, and it was a trait in 2019 release 3. So check out my full release video on that Auto World series, and you'll know what I'm talking about. So this thing is sweet. It looks awesome. Thanks again, Zach, for hooking me up with this car. You did not have to do that. I really do appreciate it. I've gotten a lot of Ultra Reds actually from him lately. He's been getting lucky in finding them, and it's not something that he necessarily collects, so I'll be happy to take any of them off his hands. Last time we did more of like a trade, or he had a bunch of stuff he wanted to purchase from you, and I was still doing that used little car lot. He basically paid for it in Ultra Reds. and then added this one on top. So this is pretty awesome. All right. Very, very cool. Next, let's take a look real quick at this State Patrol Mustang. State Trooper, Wisconsin State Trooper. Fox Fighting Mustang. It's probably a pretty basic looking car to most people, but it's an earlier Hot Pursuit release, and those earlier Hot Pursuit releases can be pretty tough to get. And when you do find them, if you find them on eBay, typically people are asking a lot of money for them. But if you're lucky enough to find them outside of eBay, usually you can find pretty good deals. Again, it's another thing you got to play the patience game. If you're really looking for this car and you want it and you're trying to get it and you can't wait for it, you're not going to wait for a good deal, you just want it to complete a collection or whatever, you're going to end up paying for that. If you're willing to wait a while, you might find it for a pretty good price. This one has an opening hood, decent detail under the hood there, and it's just a cool little piece, and it's cool to me just because it's my home state. So that's pretty awesome. I kind of want to go after all the Hot Pursuit cars that are either cities or whatever that are in my state. I think that would be pretty awesome. All right, so there is that. Next thing we can look at real quick is this Majorette. This Majorette Mercedes-Benz SLS. It's a decent one. I think I might have this tooling. I don't think I have it in this like almost like charcoal gray color. It's weird too because it looks like they almost like repainted a car that was originally red. If you look inside those door jambs there, it's got like traces of red paint, which is kind of odd but interesting. Working gullwing doors. It's got lens detail or inserted detail for the headlights, which I believe is actually just part of the window piece that goes down into the hood. But again, it's got suspension. That's cool. And I've said this time and time again about Majorette. The castings are decent. They're pretty good. The opening parts are good on most of them. The issue, and I don't care if it has a plastic base either, the issue is the wheels. They're just cheap looking and ugly. And I think that recently they've stepped up their game in the wheel department. But of course, now that they've done that, we can't really get them here in the U.S. There was a little short-lived Miho released, an M&J Toys release, and that's all we've seen since the Toys R Us releases. So, anyway, this is not a bad-looking model. Like I said, it would look a lot better, though, on some different shoes. So there's that. All right. Last thing before we get into the Tomica Limited Vintage, here is a Kyosho Ferrari. This thing rolls really good. This is probably screwed together, yeah, because this came as a little model kit. I don't know if you can see that on there, but it does have a little bit of paint rashing going on the top. Unfortunately, Kyosho is somewhat known for that. And mainly it's certain colors is what I've found. Usually your gloss blacks and gloss reds are the two colors that I believe it happens the most frequently on. Are going to be gloss black, gloss red. And then I think the third color that probably you might see it often is either going to be like a gloss yellow or gloss white. I know that covers kind of a lot of colors. But anything, if you're buying Kyosho and you really want to avoid this, you need to take a really close look at the pictures. And it's not to say that it won't develop later on either. I don't know what exactly causes paint rash. I have some theories. But the only way to really avoid it is to choose your color wisely. The other thing is just to really look at the pictures when you're buying it. And another thing is if you want to avoid it altogether, get a metallic color. Typically the metallic colors I have found don't have the issue. So anything that's like pearlescent or metallic or anything like that, they must use a different paint technique or painting something. So that's what makes me think it's the paint, not the metal, causes the issue. Anyway, yeah. So if you want a Kyosho and you want to make sure it's not going to do this, if you have a choice in color and you have a choice of getting something other than black, red, or white, go with that all the time, because you'll be a lot safer, I guess, from paint rash. This doesn't look bad, though, by any means. It doesn't. It could be cleaned up just a little bit, and I bet you if I polish it just a little bit, it'll look a lot better. But yeah, pretty cool little Ferrari there. All right, now let's take a look at Tomica Limited Vintage, and we'll save the Ferrari, of course, for last. So we're going to start with this Isuzu Elf vacuum car, LV180A. It's an interesting little car. I've already totally destroyed the box. I did open this one up already. And here it is. So this thing is... Oops. I can edit that out. Alright, so this is pretty cool. It's different, right? I don't have anything like this in my collection. It's a vacuum car, so I don't know. I guess is that used as like a street cleaner or something? I'm not sure. But this thing is really neat. It's got a ton of detail, as you would expect from Tomica Limited Vintage. I think it's got a plastic base. It feels actually pretty lightweight. The back green part of the vehicle here is plastic. It feels like the only thing that really is metal is the cab itself. When these things have plastic bases, they don't have suspension, so this does not have any of the suspension that you know from Tomica Limited Vintage. But it does, like this hose is actually rubber. It's like a soft rubber. Just really interesting. Lots of little delicate pieces to this back section. So you get painted detail on the back for the tail lights, and you get inserted detail for the headlights. That looks pretty good. Yeah, definitely an interesting model. Rolls like a dream too. So that is very cool. Go ahead and move on to the next one. The next one, let's do this here. LV-N06A. This is a Subaru Legacy. This one is packaged weird. It's an older Kyosho. Why do we keep doing that? Tomica Limited Vintage. It's a nice color. It's kind of I don't know, like a royal blue. It's just got a little metallic to it. And cleaned up a little bit. It's got suspension. Gold rims. This one is missing one of the side view mirrors, and it's like straight up missing. It's not like broken off, it's like missing. Like the hole where it would be is there. I don't know, did these come with... Yeah, so in the picture it came with 2 mirrors, and sometimes they'll put the mirrors in with the box. It doesn't, and you had to glue them in yourself. I don't think this is one of those models. It looks like this appears to just be missing from it, which is okay. I mean, this model I don't think is very cheap to get, so I don't think just that one little missing mirror is something I would have to worry about getting it replaced for. It'd be cool somehow if I could get that mirror piece, but I don't think that's going to be possible. But definitely a cool model. Look at the headlight details, the rear light details. It looks fantastic. It is quite awesome. So definitely digging that one. It's a really nice looking car. Alright, so there's your Subaru. The next thing we'll look at is a Mazda Luce Legato Neo LVN21A in white. I don't think I have a version of this casting. Pretty sure I don't. Here it is. So just an interesting car. I don't think we ever got anything that was this car. I don't think so anyway, in the US, or if it has like a US equivalent. Again, as you would expect with Tomica Limited Vintage, it's just amazingly detailed. In the windows are so clear. The interior is detailed. I don't know how well you can see it in there. 2-color interior, gold stripe on a white car. Metallic gold. Looks good. The wheels look really good. There's your front end detail. Looks pretty awesome. Headlights, grille, back. It's got like little inserts for the taillights as well. Chrome inserts that are painted. Got a blank plate back there. All this little tiny printing and stuff. And of course, suspension. Metal body, metal base. It rolls awesome. It's just, the only knock on it would be it's a car probably that not many of you would be into. But that doesn't matter because these things are done so beautifully. They can make any bland little car like this just feel like a little gem. And this is no different. Very, very cool. All right, so there's that one. And let's see. Let's check out a Skyline. LV49B. Nissan Skyline 1800 Deluxe. Very cool. Open it up. And take a look. I think I have a version. I do have a version, I think, of this tooling. I'm pretty sure I do. Maybe I may have a 2-door. No, it's a 4-door, I think. I think I got a version of this tooling. Hang on one second. I think it's right next to me. This is the first, I think, Tomica Limited Vintage that I got. And maybe it's not the same tooling. But this Skyline right here is the first one I ever got. First Tomica Limited Vintage. Came from Heavy Metal 164. Pretty cool little car. It's just the same. For some reason this one looks long. Oh, it is different. Okay, cool. Yeah, I wasn't sure. This one's shorter. Alright, so anyway, very cool little car. Again, all the details are there. It's got suspension, some really nice suspension. I love the rims on this one, or the hubcaps. Gray interior. Very detailed up front, of course. Lenses. And same with the back. Great looking insert back there for the taillights. Just little gems. They're just little gems, these Tomica Limited Vintage cars. Just beautiful. And I'll take any of these I can get. I don't care what car it is. I mean, anything. I'll find it interesting just by how detailed the vehicles are. Here is the LV181 Toyota Crown. So this one looks like we got another silverish car. It's probably what's going to come out of here. Yep. And that is nice looking too. I think I have this tooling. I'm pretty sure I do. I got some version of it. I think I do. But there's so many of these cars that kind of look similar, just like I showed you with that Skyline. But then they're not the same car. Very beautiful metal flake paint job. Of course, this one's got suspension. I love the front end of this car. It looks great. I think that looks awesome. And then there's the back. So metal body, metal base. It is a beauty. And of course it rolls beautifully, beautifully well. Just a beautiful little car. Fantastic. All right, we're getting the time is adding up here actually. So we got two more cars really to look at. This one I thought was very, very interesting. I pulled this one out already. This is LV74A. It is a Prince Gloria BLSIP 3. No idea what that refers to. Somebody that's way into JDM would probably be able to tell you. This car is really cool. I mean, does that not kind of like scream 57 Chevy to you? It's got the wings in the back. The fins, I should say, not wings. I mean, look at the front of the car. Is that not 57 Chevy looking? Totally is. Lens detail. Chrome bumper. Details on the back. Totally looks American. It's a little small. It's probably a lot shorter than the 57 Chevy. Smaller. But man, this thing looks awesome. It's gloss black. It's got gold trim, gold and chrome trim. The wheels look great. Metal base, of course, metal body. Copyright date is 2009 for this. That's probably around when this came out, because this is the A version of the car. So that would be my guess. But it is just beautiful. I really like this one. Huge fan. Just really cool because it looks kind of like an American car, but it's not, you know. It's got blue interior, black dashboard. Just a beauty. All right. Now to the main event, the Ferrari. Everybody loves Ferraris, right? Especially Tomica Limited Vintage Ferrari. So this is one where you would have to put your side mirrors on yourself, and I'm not doing that at all. No way. It's got fancy packaging, very, very fancy packaging. It's almost like opening up a, I don't know, like an expensive watch or something. And there it is in yellow. So this is the 365 GT4 BB. Now they've done a bunch of Berlinetta boxers already. And I think they have some that are still coming out. I think a blue one. I don't remember exactly. There's a bunch. I think eventually I probably will get every single Tomica Limited Vintage Ferrari. I probably will just go after all of them because I don't know what I'm really even missing right now. I might be current. I've got the two black, like Testarossas or whatever, that are coming out. Those are on the way. I have the black F40. My guess is they'll put out a black one of these as well. So they've already come up with the 512 BBI. This is the, I think, like the first gen, basically, the 365 GT4 BB. And here it is in yellow. Amazing casting. This, they do have suspension. It's metal body, metal base. Beautiful looking detail. Just amazing. The back opens up. I wish it would stay up by itself, but I don't think it does. Yeah, unfortunately it doesn't. So that's kind of a bummer for picture-wise, if you want to take pictures of it with the back up. Just a beaut. The interior, highly detailed as well. It's got some red and some black in there. It just looks, you know, as you would expect with these. It just looks fantastic. So here it is in yellow. This was the regular, I guess, release of it in red right here. And then that was in yellow. So these kind of came out at the same time. Just one was a Tomy Mall exclusive, and the other one was not. The other one you could get from, you know, is a lot more common, but it ain't that cheap. Definitely not that cheap, though, even though it's more common. But again, these things are just beautiful. The Tomica Limited Vintage Ferraris are just beautiful. So, amazing stuff. All right, so that's going to be it for this episode. We managed to stretch it out to 30 some odd minutes anyway. Okay, so highlights for the episode. Obviously, this Ferrari, you know, definitely takes it. I love that Ferrari. This thing is absolutely amazing in my opinion as well. I like that a lot. I like any of these Tomica Limited Vintages a lot, of course. And then, of course, it's really sweet to check another Ultra Red off the list. So fantastic. All right, that's going to be it for this, guys. Thank you guys very much for watching. Have yourself a great rest of your week. We'll see you in the next one. Stay tuned for more videos on the channel throughout the week. I appreciate you watching. Bye.